Hi, I'm Rosalind Peychaud, Deputy Chief of Staff for Anne Joseph Gao and host of Collaborations. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are joined with Sister Claire of Assisi and Sister Jenny from St. Mary's. And we'll talk a little bit about, or they'll talk a little bit about their experiences post-Katrina and before. Thank you, ladies, for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Tell me, where's St. Mary's?
Well, St. Mary's Academy is on the Chef-Mentor Highway.
It's in New Orleans East?
New Orleans East. Okay. And finally, we are back home on the Chef-Mentor Highway.
Back home on the Chef. Yes. What is that address on the Chef?
6905.
6905.
Right behind the Sisters of the Holy Family Mother House.
Oh, I'm sure lots of people know what Sisters of the Holy Family Mother House is.
Yes.
Well, tell me a little bit about what's been your experience?
Well,
were you damaged? I mean, I don't know.
We were under 7 feet of water.
Wow.
And it leveled at 5 feet and stayed there for 3 weeks. So we were totally damaged. After Katrina, we didn't know what to do and where to go.
Lots of people were like that, not knowing what to do and where to go.
Everything was just covered over with the salt that had killed all of the vegetation. It was totally dead. Everything we owned, our school, our beautiful middle school, our mother house, our nursing home. When I saw that, the first thought that came to my mind was, gosh, we had inherited so many wonderful things, and now it was our responsibility, some way, to leave something for the future.
Yes.
And it happened with a lot of help.
A lot of help? Well, what was the biggest challenge that you experienced?
Well, first we had to get our hope back, because with everything gone, we said, is this the end of us? You know, and this was to be the best year. And Sister Eileen, president of Xavier Prep.
Yeah, who I love dearly.
And Father John Rayfield from St. Augustine.
Right.
And Sister Greta Jupiter, who was our president at the time, got together and decided that we would set up the Max School.
Collaboration, which is the name of this show, Collaborations with Congressman Gao.
Yes, and the 3 schools opened in January as Max.
At what site?
Magazine, Xavier Prep site. They welcomed us with open arms.
That's a blessing.
And it was wonderful. We thought we would live there forever. But as May came around, we realized it's time to do something. Xavier Prep was ready to go back to its own. St. Augustine was ready to go back, and we didn't have a home to go to.
How did you all manage to get back?
Knew that the Archbishop had offered a piece of property that had not flooded, St. James Major on Gentilly. So I went to the Superior General and asked her if we could have that school.
Superior General. You went straight to the top.
To the top.
Lots of people want to please the sisters.
And they did, and because of that, we were able to open St. Mary's on Gentilly Boulevard for the school year 2006-2007.
Well, how was Congressman Gao involved at all?
Because we were having such a difficulty trying to get the release of the monies that already had been allocated to us, we made a trip to Baton Rouge to speak to the powers that be. And even though we did that and were given many promises, we had no response. So we decided to call our congressman. Now, this is unusual for us. We don't usually do that. But what was even more surprising was not only did the office receive the call, but the congressman himself paid a visit to our school. We were very honored by that, and we had, and not only were we honored, but it made a difference. I don't know what he did, but I do know that after that, those PWs were funded.
He has a way of shaking things up, sister, I can tell you that.
And the money fell loose wherever it was there, only we couldn't get it. And so, you know, we feel very confident, And believe it or not, we're going to start another project, and we've already called him, and we've gotten a response for that. I won't mention that project here, though.
It's okay, but one thing that you know that you can call on your congressman, he's responsive,
Absolutely.
and that's
And
very
he's
important.
available.
And he's accessible to you.
After his visit, not only St. Mary's Academy, but many of the other schools who had faculty houses that were knocked down were able to get them back.
Thank you.
Through his intercession.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm walking down the streets and you look at every brick, especially on a weathered and wet day. They have a story. They seem to tell you or want to say, identify me, stop for a moment, and I will speak to you. I know that's strange, but the city does do that. It has a whisper about it.
It just, I mean, it just grabs your soul.
It's the kind of place you'd visit in your dreams, you know, and nowhere else.
I do believe that this is the last place of mystery in the country.
We've become our own special culture. You know, we're this kind of monster that all these other cultures have gradually through the years created. This beautiful monster.
You really don't know how to describe it, except if you go somewhere else, it doesn't feel like New Orleans.
We're 300 years of a culture here, and people take it very serious. I mean, we go to lunch so we can figure out where we're going to dinner.
I mean, if you're in another city, you share a supermarket, but we don't. We share Mardi Gras, you know?
When I sit here in Preservation Hall, I feel the spirit and I hear the notes of people who played here 50 years ago.
New Orleans is soul. That's what New Orleans is. It's soul. It's in here. That's what it is. It's soul. The spirit of New Orleans never dies because you can't kill something so purely good.
The people, the food, the music equals spirit.
Welcome back to Collaborations with Congressman An Joseph Gow. You know, it's been so interesting post-Katrina, rebuilding and recovery, and interacting with individuals in the community who are at different stages of recovery and who've had many different experiences. So it's a pleasure to welcome retired teachers of Orleans Parish. We're here with us is Becky Ponza.
Yes.
And Embro Bridges.
Right.
To talk about your experiences post-Katrina and your recovery. Because, you know, yours was a little different. You got bounced out or something? I'm not really sure. Explain to me what happened.
Well, as we came back to New Orleans after Katrina, we found that the school system had been taken over and all of the schools that we formerly worked at were not opening. And so we were in a position where those of us who had enough years either had to be retired or fired.
Retired or fired.
And if you were fired, you lost your health insurance. So we, you know, made the choice to retire because we had like 31 years of experience, and so
about how many people are we talking about?
Oh,
well, about 8,000 to be honest with you.
Okay.
From the entire system, it was 8,000 people. But the retirees, once we were forced to retire, our insurance premiums went up to $671 a month.
Wow.
Per person.
Exactly.
Per person?
Per person.
Which was just. It's been an incredible burden.
And so you were on your retirement, you were drawing your retirement and you still had to pay $600.
Like a third to a half of people's pensions. And some of the people were not the ones who retired that were affected, with not the ones who retired after Katrina, but they were the people who had been retired for 10, 15 years already.
And theirs went up too?
Yes, so their premium, you know, their pensions were like maybe $1,000.
Now why did this happen? Why was this necessary impact on the insurance premiums?
Well, because the schools were no longer operated by New Orleans Public Schools, and the Recovery School District did not take on the responsibility for the retirees. So it became where Orleans Parish had maybe 300 employees that were young and active, and so our premiums went up because we're an older group with more health concerns.
And the pool was reduced.
So paying into the pool made it less for everyone to be able to pay a premium that was reduced.
Right.
So what happened?
Well, the state for a couple of years gave us some assistance with that.
Okay.
And then at the end of that time, our premiums went up to the $671 that Embra mentioned. And we started looking for solutions. And we went to town hall meetings and met Jedediah, who we spoke
Jedediah Jackson.
He works for Congressman Gow in Constituent Services. Okay.
Yes.
One of our members, one of the retirees who worked very closely with us, Vincent Mastraccio.
Yes, ma'am.
And he met with Jedediah and told him about our plight. And Jedediah came back and told the congressman. And the congressman thought this was an important issue, and it really was. And he brought together at the table, I think, members of the New Orleans public school system. I think the superintendent of the state superintendent.
He did meet with pastors.
Exactly. I think, and Paul Vallis.
And Vallis, yes.
And that actually got the ball started to roll for us.
And we've been at this since Katrina, basically, you know. And we attended several of the meetings, also the town hall meetings that Congressman Gow had. And he's been very supportive and very helpful.
Yes. One of the things that we've tried to do is to do collaborations, and that's why this show is called Collaborations, because something happens when you bring people together and you talk about issues. Somehow you're able to sometimes find resolutions for things. So what is the resolution? What's the end result for you?
Well, at this last legislative session, Senator Murray had a bill that passed that provided us with relief, and our premiums currently have gone down to about $392 a month.
Okay.
And it was a result of collaboration that was initiated by the congressman. So we're still paying quite a bit more than other retired teachers in the state, but you know, we're hoping to continue to work on that.
Well, that's wonderful though, because $600 a month, I'm sure, was a grave impact.
Yes.
When you're on a fixed.
Close to $700 a month.
We have some retirees who are 92 and 95 in the group. Who
years old?
Yes.
Yes.
In fact, we've been getting calls from people saying, you know, thank you so much. Now I can get my refrigerator fixed. Now I can get my car fixed.
Quality of
I won't
life
be
issues.
losing my house. You know, because people were facing those kind of decisions because, you know, the health insurance was costing more than the home mortgage.
Wow.
And a good thing about this bill is that it's allowing retirees who had to drop out, they can now rejoin the insurance program.
Well, this is wonderful. One of the things, again, about collaboration is working together, ladies, to try and make quality of life issues better and sharing that information with the congressman, and for him to be able to intervene on your behalf is the kinds of things that we want to be able to do.
I'm tall enough to reach the light switches. I'm big enough to brush my teeth by myself. I'm the tallest kid in my class. I haven't worn diapers in years. I'm much less likely to vomit at random now. My cups don't have lids anymore. Mine either. I'm getting pretty big. But to help me survive a car crash, I still need you to give me a boost.
Until they're 4'9", use a booster seat in the car and don't let them down.
For some folks, saving for the future is easy, but for you, it might take a little more effort. Saving for your future is your responsibility, and there's a lot to save for.
I never thought of that.
Like your child's education, perhaps uncovered medical expenses, or just to be sure you can live the way you want when you retire. The time is now to save for tomorrow. Save now or work forever.
Rebuilding and recovery continues with collaboration with Congressman Gow. We're now joined by Stephanie Smith from PACE with Catholic Charities.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
What is PACE?
Well, PACE stands for the Program of All-Inclusive Care for the Elderly.
All-inclusive care.
That's
that sounds
right.
like everything in one space.
That's right. That's
what kind
right.
of services do you provide? What's your mission?
Well, our mission is to provide a community-based alternative to nursing home care.
Wow.
So we want to keep seniors in their homes with their families and their community as long as possible with all of our support services.
So PACE came into existence in the district after Hurricane Katrina?
Yes, we opened in 2007 in a converted Catholic church in the Bywater. There were no health care services there after Katrina, so we provided a much-needed service. We provide comprehensive coordinated health care for them. So when they come into our program, we will provide services in the home, such as personal care attendants to help them with bathing and dressing. We transport them on our wheelchair lift vans to our center. We have adult day health care there, primary care clinic, a dentist on site, physical therapy, and we're contracted with Auctioneer Healthcare System.
So the requirements are?
To be 55 years of age or older.
55 or older.
Right. Meet nursing home level of care.
And what does that mean?
It's program that is administered by the state of Louisiana to determine if you have chronically ill, chronic illnesses. It's kind of a point system if you need assistance with daily living skills.
Okay.
So it's all of the things that they would evaluate to determine if you have those needs.
So it's medically needed. It's not based on. It's based on income. Does that come to play at all?
They do. There's a financial component to it.
Okay.
We're funded by Medicare and Medicaid, so it's low-income seniors. And to qualify financially, you can make up to $2,022 a month, own a home, own a car, have $2,000 in the bank.
Well, how did Congressman Gow collaborate with you guys to provide these services?
Well, currently we're located in the Bywater area, 4201 North Rampart Street.
Okay.
The area around is flooded, but we were very fortunate in that our center, the Shirley Landry Benson Pace Center, did not flood.
What's it called?
Shirley Landry Benson Pace Center.
Okay.
We received a very generous donation from the Benson family to help get the first program open.
Is that the Saints Bensons?
Yes, the Saints Bensons.
Okay.
So Rita Benson LeBlanc is on our board, and she's always been very supportive.
Okay, great.
And Congressman Gow got involved because we wanted to have a second site on Barataria Boulevard.
We have to cross the bridge to get the services.
Right, so we hope to open within a year. We have to do some renovations to the property.
Sure.
And then we also have to be in the Medicaid budget. So we
Is
are...
that the state Medicaid budget?
The state Medicaid budget.
Is that scary for you?
A little bit. I mean, with all the state health care cuts.
Right.
So it's very important that we have these types of services. I mean, they're
so people
less
can stay in their
expensive.
home.
That's right. They're less expensive than nursing homes.
Maintain a different quality of life.
And it's also improves access to care, better outcomes, and the participants are much happier. I mean, it's very focused on preventive health and giving people what they want as far as being able to stay home.
Well, thank you so much for joining me on collaboration with Congressman Gow and sharing information for programs that are out there helping individuals who need the services, and that's a much needed service for seniors.
Absolutely.
What is that thing?
Looks like somebody's double chin. Must have lost it snacking on fruits and vegetables.
Somebody's gonna trip on that.
Low-fat cheese sandwiches on whole wheat bread. Chewy and good for you. Snacks high in calcium help build strong bones, and foods rich in fiber are good for your heart. So you have the power to dominate. Can your food do that? Run, throw, think, eat better. Find out more at smallstep.gov.
Go to jail for a gun crime, and your family serves a sentence with you.